XRP just punched through the $150 mark. Chart analysts are buzzing, and something big could be brewing. I'm going to break down what each one of them is saying, and you're getting all of this fresh right now. We've got the CEO of Ripple Prime talking about XRP, institutions trading it against other currencies, and just how lucrative that future is shaping up to be. We've also got Sal Galbert on CNBC sharing his thoughts on XRP and the broader future of crypto. Plus, I've got a few other things I want to walk you through. So let's get into it. But before we dive into all the chart analysis, please hit that like button and drop a comment. Guys, we're recording this on a Sunday, and it genuinely helps the channel grow. Alright, let's go. So what he's saying is clear. Institutions have multiple ways to generate serious revenue inside crypto, and that's just one of them. Trading across different currency pairs in the crypto space is being looked at as a major opportunity. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Alright, now I want to get to this Sal Galbert clip. His company, Tokrium, recently launched an XRP ETF product. It's more of a 2x leveraged product rather than a straight spot product. But here's what he thinks is about to happen with XRP, with blockchain, and with the moment we're currently living through. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with him? I think the technology has been around for a while now, and we do have a pretty solid understanding of the core use cases. But I do agree. There are use cases coming down the line that we haven't even imagined yet, and that's genuinely exciting. I think we're entering a new era where real-world value starts moving on-chain, through the DTCC, through NASDAQ, through the New York Stock Exchange. It starts with stocks, moves to bonds, then derivatives. You solve the biggest pain points first, debt, real estate, and then you build from there. That's how I see it playing out. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm looking forward to reading them. Let's move to this clip from Jungle Inc., checking in on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I really like his take here. Love it. Jungle always brings a solid perspective, and I enjoy hearing him break it down like that. Now, one of the biggest players behind this shift isn't a new name, it's Nexo. They've been around since 2018 and are now managing over $8 billion in client assets. During consolidation phases like the one we may be in right now, some crypto holders use Nexo's products to earn interest on their holdings or access liquidity through credit lines, without ever needing to sell their position. Here's how their platform works. You can buy up to 100 different digital assets. You can open credit lines. You can exchange across up to 1,500 digital asset pairs. They offer flexible savings, a Nexo card with both debit and credit modes, and crypto cash back on select purchases. They also have 100 perpetual contracts, fixed-term savings, dual investment options, and crypto transfers. Why choose Nexo? They have a proven track record since 2018. White glove client care, available 24/7. A global footprint spanning 150 jurisdictions. Strong financial health, proven regulatory compliance, and high liquidity, having processed over $403 billion to date. They also carry SOC 2 and SOC 3 audits. All of their security details are listed on screen right now, and there will be a link in the description with everything you need to know. If you want to support this channel, using my referral link would mean a lot. Let me know what you think of the Nexo platform down below. Alright, let's look at where XRP stands right now. Up 4.5% in the last 24 hours, up 6.5% over the last week, and up almost 10% in the past month. Now, if you look at the chart, we retested almost the exact same level back on April 17, 2026, and it got knocked down at that same exact level. Pretty remarkable. What we're also seeing is ETF volume continuing to pick up. Total XRP ETF volume exceeded $40 million today, 4.5 million shares traded. That tells you institutional investors are positioning into XRP right now, ahead of what they believe will be the Clarity Act getting approved through the Senate. The Senate Banking Committee markup is scheduled for Thursday, and the target is to have the bill signed into law by July 4th. That's the timeline Senator Bernie Moreno laid out. And that, in my view, is exactly why the crypto market is popping right now. Here's a look at some of the volume in the last 12 hours. Coinbase at $21 million, Binance at $7 million, Kraken, Bitstamp, Crypto.com, Gate, Bitfinex, all showing buying activity. Some selling visible on OKXBit and Bybit. Now let's move to Chartner's analysis. And here's what he's seeing. If XRP does secure a confirmed breakout on the daily chart, the weekly still tells us to respect the current trend, with heavy macro resistance in play. Looking at the chart, there is a strong possibility that this is just a counter-trend rally into EMA resistance. Hear him out. He says the weekly 20 and 50 EMAs are still both lost and confirmed as resistance since January 2026, creating a death cross. That death cross is what triggered the last drop from 240 down to 111. And right now, we're witnessing the exact same type of rally back toward those EMAs. No macro bullish reversal is confirmed until both EMAs are reclaimed as support. Can they be reclaimed? Sure. But for now, we remain below them and must respect that reality. This is why he's pointing to a $180 contact point before a potential deeper drop toward the $90 to $70 range. The only way to invalidate this scenario is to reclaim both EMAs, the 20 EMA sitting at $158 and the 50 EMA sitting at $185. Enjoy the small rallies, but don't get lost in the sauce until we see macro confirmation. So Chartner still believes we could see a push toward $180 before a potential drop back to $70 to $90. He's been consistent on this for a while. And look, part of me genuinely hopes he's wrong. I don't want to see XRP back at $70 to $90. But think about this. If it did go there, imagine how many people would be buying at that level. It's honestly hard to picture XRP below $1 again, but I've seen several analysts suggest it's not off the table. What do you guys think? Could XRP ever go back below $1? Let me know in the comments. Stephanie Starr dropped this one, and it's worth paying attention to. She writes that weekly charts look ready to break months of compression. The structure is tightening hard. Weekly RSI is curling up from oversold territory. Higher lows continue to hold. Descending resistance is getting weaker. Daily momentum is already turning bullish. This is what volatility compression looks like before expansion. The longer XRP stays pinned inside this wedge while holding support, the more violent the eventual move will be. Honestly, she doesn't think any of us are truly prepared for what the coming weeks could bring. And on the timing side, Clarity Act momentum is building. Senate Banking Committee activity is increasing. Institutional supply is tightening. Narratives are growing. XRP exchange reserves are sitting at multi-year lows. The macro picture with the Fed transition is shifting. The next few weekly candles could decide everything. Let me jump over to XRPL Insights to see how much XRP is locked up. Yes, this continues to climb. When we were hitting major all-time highs, ETF holdings reached around $800 million. We dipped back to around $770 million, and now we've rebuilt almost 80 million XRP in just the last few weeks alone. That tells you institutional investors are still buying. They believe bullish momentum is building and they're positioning ahead of it. Now, Crypto Insight posted this. XRP's weekly chart looks immense. Yellow circles show when the weekly RSI touched below the 34 level. White markers show when we've been oversold. The MACD is curling up from the most oversold reading ever recorded, so there are multiple analysts pointing to XRP being oversold at current levels, suggesting some kind of pump is coming. I also wanted to break down this liquidity heat map that was shared, because I think it's worth understanding. What you're looking at is a liquidity volume heat map combined with a trend line, suggesting XRP may be transitioning from a long downtrend into an early breakout accumulation phase. It doesn't guarantee upside, but it does show where the orders and liquidity are stacked. Red and yellow zones equal high interest and liquidity. Green and blue zones are thinner, with less activity. On the right side of the chart, price has been moving under a clear descending trend line. And recently, candles are starting to poke at that line while liquidity is building at and below current levels. This is a significant visual to watch. Chartner also adds this: a sustained breakout above the $145 to $150 resistance zone with consistent candle closes would likely open the path back to $160 or $180. And securing a weekly candle close above $147 tonight would mark the highest weekly close in over 3 months. We did break above the trend line. You can see that wedge pattern has been breached, guys. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. It's also noted that the last time XRP's stochastic RSI was overbought was back in July 2025, right near all-time highs. The setup right now suggests price could be ready to break to the upside and rally back into the $182 range. But it needs to happen sooner rather than later. Failing to break through structural triangle resistance could reopen the door for a drop. And ZF Crypto posts this final piece. XRP looks ready for an upside move. XRP sell pressure on Binance continues to dry up while taker buy dominance holds near equilibrium. Price structure remains stable above $140 despite months of volatility. Phases like this usually don't stay quiet for long. And to cap it off, XRP's market cap surged 5.76% in the last 24 hours, reaching $92.88 billion. Volume is up over 20% as momentum continues to build around XRP and the XRPL ecosystem. The market is starting to wake up. I'd love to see more traders come back in, buy XRP, and hold long-term. That's what we're doing here. I truly believe my XRP is going to be worth a whole lot more in 5 to 10 years than it is today. I believe the major value in stocks, bonds, derivatives, real estate, and debt is moving onto blockchain. And I think the XRP ledger, with Ripple, is exceptionally well positioned to move a significant portion of that value. Whether it's 5%, 10%, or more, it's going to be meaningful. Let's see how this unfolds. Ultimately, it's going to come down to the Senate. If they get the Clarity Act done, I think we reach some of the price levels these chart analysts are projecting. But if they can't get it out of committee, or if the bill fails a full Senate vote, that would be genuinely devastating for the crypto industry, and we'd likely remain in a bear market for some time. All right, I'll leave it there. Have a great Sunday. Support the content. Drop a like, leave a comment. Thank you guys. Aloha.